Hi, it's Mrs. Mallet, and right now we're going to talk about multiplying trinomials, and I'm going to show you two methods that you can multiply with trinomials. The first method is called double distributing, and that's the way that I call it. No, you won't find it in any book or anything. That's just how I call it because that's what we're doing. We're double distributing. And the way you go about doing this is that you first of all, you take this x and you're going to multiply it by everything back there first. So you're going to take the x and multiply it times the x squared, which is going to be x to the third. Then take the x and multiply it times the negative 3. Which would be a negative 3x squared. Then take that x and multiply it times the 7, which would be a positive 7x. Now we're going to go back and do it with the 2. So take that negative 2 and multiply it times the x squared, and you've got negative 2x squared. Then take that negative 2 and multiply it times the negative 3, which will give you a positive 6x. Lastly, take that negative 2 again and multiply it times that 7, which will give you a negative 14x. Okay, so now that we have everything out of the parentheses, now you want to combine your like terms. Remember, you need to go down in descending order. So you have x to the third. Go ahead and mark that out. Then we can combine our x squareds. Negative 3x squared, and then a negative 2x squared is a negative 5x squared. And then after that, let's look for our x's and combine our x's. I have a positive 7x here with a positive 6x here. 7 plus 6 is going to give you a 13x. And then last but not least, I have my negative 14 that's left over. So you go ahead and bring that on down. Okay, so this method is called the double distributing method. So your final answer would be x to the third plus, minus 5x squared plus 13x minus 14. Okay, so this method is called double distributing. Now let me show you the vertical format method, and it looks like this. It's kind of like when you multiply long multiplication. You do the exact same thing. Okay, so let's do this one. So first of all, you're going to take it and you're going to take the 7 right here and multiply it times the negative 2, and that gives you negative 14. Then you're going to take, so we did that first. Then you're going to take your negative 3x here and multiply it times your negative 2. So negative 3 times negative 3x times negative 2 is going to be a positive 6x. Then you take that x squared and multiply it times that negative 2. And that'll give you a negative 2x squared. Now remember, I don't know how you were taught to move over when you do your long multiplication. Some people put an x there, some people put a 0. I just shift over. So however you were taught to do that, I just shift over one. So now let's do it. 7 times x is going to be a positive 7x. Negative 3x times x is going to give you a negative 3x squared. And then x times x right here is going to be a positive x to the third. Now we can go ahead and combine our like terms. So we have x to the third, negative 5x squared. 6 plus 7 is a positive 13x, and then bring down my negative 14. This is the vertical format method. Now last but not least, what I want to show you is how you multiply cubes. Now really there's no easy way to tell you how to multiply cubes, so you just have to jump in and do it. First, write it all out. So this is going to be x plus 2 times x plus 2 times x plus 2. First, you have to FOIL your first two terms. So let's go ahead and FOIL that out. Our first x times x is x squared. Our outside is x times 2, which is a positive 2x. Our inside, again, is the 2 times the x here, which is another positive 2x. And your last terms is the 2 times the 2, which is a positive 4. Let's go ahead and combine our terms. So we have x squared plus 4x plus 4. So now we have that, and we take that, and then we have to multiply that by the last x plus 2. I don't know whichever method you liked doing it. You can pick your method. I personally prefer the vertical format. So we have x squared plus 4x plus 4, and you're going to multiply that times the x plus 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4x times 2 is a positive 8x. X squared times 2 is a positive 2x squared. And we'll go ahead and move over. 4 times x is 4x. 4x times x is a positive 4x squared. And then x squared times x is x to the third. Let's combine our like terms. So you have x to the third, 2x squared plus 4x squared is a 6x squared. 8x plus 4x is a positive 12x. And bring down your 8 for our final answer. You can also do that if you wanted to double distribute. You could have did it the exact same way too. Just make sure you write it all out and then you multiply using whatever method you like to use.